So as I say, my name is Sujana, and I've been meditating for around 30, probably over 30 years, and teaching meditation here at the Buddhist Centre for over 20 years as well. So there's a lot of people that pass through, and it's something. I've benefited a lot from myself, and I enjoy leading it and teaching it as well. So I'll do one more little roundup for those of you who have just tuned in, just to talk about sitting, and then I'm going to do a short introduction. So if you've just tuned in, be good to set yourself up with a comfortable chair. If you're used to meditating, you may already have a meditation cushion or stool, but if you've not got those, what I'd suggest is a comfortable chair. If you've got an upright chair, something like an office chair is good, or an upright kitchen chair, maybe with a cushion at the back and your feet flat on the floor. But if all you've got is your comfy armchair or sofa, that's all right as well. So you can just have whatever you want. What we're looking for is to be sort of primarily to be comfortable, but also poised and alert as well. So so if the more upright but comfortable you can be, the better. So I'll just talk for a few minutes about meditation and why we've been doing these classes. I was just thinking today, things are now starting to open again. Things are changing again. So we've had many new normals that keep sort of coming every couple of days that we have to get used to. But for quite a while, it just felt as though everything had stopped. The traffic had stopped. The shopping had stopped. I know a lot of people were still working, but maybe a lot of people have. I know a lot of people also had stopped working. But I would guess that your mind hadn't stopped. So, and it's often when we've got a bit more space and we haven't got so much to do that we really notice our mind and how busy one's mind can be. We maybe notice our thought processes, and if you watch that, it can be quite a useful thing to do, but it's also quite difficult. Often we do things to distract ourselves, to get away from it. But we'll probably notice we all tell ourselves stories. We all tell ourselves stories about ourselves, about other people, about the world. And this is completely normal. And we need to do it. We have to do it to try and make sense of things. The issue is often it's not what's going on. It's not reality. And you can probably notice that yourself. It will often just depend on your mood, depending on the story you tell. So if you're in a bit of a low mood, the story you're going to tell is probably, you're not that great at things and things don't go well for you. And there's a lot of worry about things could just get really bad in the world. All the stories we hear on the news, it's all quite depressing. But then we've had a lot of sunny days, and maybe there's a few days where you've been just quite happy and feeling really well. Then your story is quite different. It's sort of good to be alive, really, and you can feel really fortunate, really grateful, and having this space as well. So they're not, and often things haven't changed. The only thing that's changed is our mood and our perspective. So again, this is completely normal, but often the stories we tell ourselves are not helpful. They aren't. They're not, and they become a bit of a habit and circular. And if we can get in a low mood, we have a familiar train of thought that goes with it, that then feeds back into that low mood as well. And again, this is something we all do, but it's a great help if we can notice it, if we can be aware of it. And often, just being aware of it, it does sort of take the heat out of it to an extent. It can start even to break that cycle once we realize we're doing this. Because without that awareness, we just go on to automatic thoughts, and we're not really thinking, we're not consciously thinking about it, but it's got a life of its own. And we're believing it all to be really true, as this is how things are. So the key to all of that is awareness. Sometimes we might call it mindfulness. I sort of prefer to call it awareness. I think it makes more sense to me and it feels more accessible. So bringing awareness to it is a big step. The other thing you can do is shift our awareness to something else. So we can't just stop our thoughts. So often when we try and stop thoughts, we're just adding energy to them, and it makes it worse. But what we can do is shift our awareness, and that's what we're doing in meditation. So within the practice we're going to do today, we're going to move our awareness more to the body. So bringing our awareness down. If we're thinking a lot, which could be thinking, could be worrying, we're in our head. So we spend a lot of time in our head. And if we can bring our awareness down into our body, in a way, it just gives our mind a break, really. Just gives it a bit of a rest. And then it can develop a bigger perspective. And that's what we're trying to do. So in the practice, we bring awareness to the body. And one of the keys to it is to try and get interested in it, to engage with it. So we can do that by, just looking for sensations in the body. And some of them can be quite obvious. Sometimes they're quite subtle. And if you can't notice anything, maybe just look a little bit deeper. You can also notice where you hold on in the body. So we all have areas where we hold tension, or just sort of, maybe it's not even tension, it's a sort of holding on. Often just bringing awareness to those areas, we're not trying to do anything, but we naturally let go. And I often do that myself if I'm sitting at a desk. Every now and again, I try and be aware of my shoulders, and then I haven't noticed it, but they've risen up, and just bringing awareness to them, they let go, they drop down. So you may notice that when we're scanning through the body, just bringing awareness to areas where you notice where you hold on. And we all have our favourite areas, maybe the shoulders, sometimes the jaw, the hands, the stomach area. So we're not trying to do anything, but just bringing awareness to them. They'll naturally let go. Or maybe they won't, but that's all right as well. You can just be aware that there's some areas are a bit tense, and some areas are quite soft and relaxed. So we're sort of getting just interest and engagement with all parts of our body. And then we also just have a check on how we are. So we can notice how our moods change. When we talk about mind in Buddhism, it includes our thoughts, feelings, emotions, moods. So we haven't got to analyze it or try and work it out, but just it's always good just to have a sense of how we are. And then you can get to know and notice how that changes quite a lot. And also you can notice, say if you're in a low mood, that you don't need to feed it, and we don't need to try and push it away. That if we often allow it to be there, it will just pass. It will pass on its own. And it's not like if you take up a regular meditation practice that you'll never have your ups and downs. They all continue. Well, that's my experience. So you still have all your ups and downs, but what I think, the way I like to think of it is you create a bigger vessel to contain them all. So you've got a bigger perspective, and there is a deeper current of contentment and able to hold all these in a perspective where you know they pass, they'll come and go. So that's a bit of a background of the meditation. Yeah, I will just mention of sort of difficult, sometimes difficult or uncomfortable emotions, and that's okay to be with them as well. I just thought of that because I think maybe it was a week or so ago, it was Mental Health Day, and I have avoided watching the news too much, but I did catch something that Matt Hancock said on one of his little daily briefings, that just say to people, if you're finding all this really difficult, that's quite okay. And I thought that was a really good point to make, because often we can think, well, we shouldn't be feeling this way because we've got a lot of things going for us, or we don't want to feel like that. It's just it is normal, and to just feel whatever you feel and be with it, and it will change. Sometimes it may go on for some time, but it will change. So I'll just say one more thing before we go into the meditation, of this quality of awareness or mindfulness that we bring to the practice has a warmth to it. So mindfulness isn't this cold spotlight that we're bringing to our experience. It has a warmth, and it's sort of like a kindly awareness. And a way of contacting that is if you just reflect on some of the acts of kindness that have been going on. That's one of the things I've noticed over the last few months. There has been lots of small, and some big acts of kindness. People have been a lot more aware of each other, and probably you've done them yourself as well. So just bring them to mind and reflect on them, and that gives you a particular feeling, and it's that quality of feeling, of awareness, that we bring to the practice. So that quality of awareness has a sense of warmth and kindness to it. Okay, so we'll now set ourselves up for the meditation. So if you're sitting, hopefully you've been able to get yourself as comfortable as you can. You can meditate with your eyes opened or closed. Generally, I prefer to have my eyes closed. I find it less distracting, less stimulating. But if you want to have your eyes open, that's fine. But I'd suggest they just have them half open and sort of soft gaze on the piece of floor in front of you. And we'll be meditating for about 20-25 minutes or so. So first of all, maybe taking a few deeper breaths. And on the out breath, you can imagine letting go of the day. Letting go of anything you've got to do, think about. You can put them to one side and come back to them later. So for the next 20 minutes or so, just deciding what we're going to bring awareness to our body and the breath. And we drift away, that's what we'll come back to. First of all, bringing awareness to where we're sitting on the chair or cushion. Allow all of the weight of the upper body to drop down, dropping down into the sitting bones, to the chair and the floor. Being aware of the upper legs. Can we notice any sensations in the upper legs? The knees, the shins and calf muscles, and the feet. We be aware of the soles of the feet. Are there any sensations in the toes? And bringing awareness up to the lower back. You notice any sensations around the lower back? We can use our imagination, imagining a thread running up the front of the spine, the back of the neck, the back of the head, and lifting up to the ceiling, just allowing the spine to release and the back muscles to broaden. Aware of the shoulders. So not trying to move the shoulders, but you can imagine them dropping away from the body. The arms dropping away from the shoulders. And then being aware of the hands. Be aware of the palms. Are there any sensations in the fingers? Noticing the energy in the tips of the fingers. And bringing awareness up to the head. You may like to just gently nod the head backwards and forwards, side to side, finding that point of balance, allowing the neck muscles to release. Of the forehead, the eyes still, and relaxing the muscles around the eyes. And all of the face is soft. Aware of the jaw. You'd like to gently move the jaw side to side. Just noticing if you hold any tension around the jaw. And then moving down to the stomach area. Are there any knots or tensions? You can use the breath on the out breath, allowing the stomach to soften. Breathing in, allowing the chest to open. On the out breath, the breastbone to soften. So maintaining that sense of kindly awareness maybe lost touch with that, reflecting on an act of kindness you've given or received or seen or heard about. Just being aware of how that felt. And it's that quality that we bring to the practice. And bringing more of our focus to the breath. So it's not breathing exercise, it's just the natural in-out flow of the breath. Noticing when the breath comes into the body and then back into the room. Noticing all the subtle movements in the body. Gentle rise and fall of the chest. Maybe noticing there's a sense of letting go on the out breath. And so we start the mindfulness of breathing. So today we're going to do 2 stages of the mindfulness of breathing. And in the first stage, silently to ourselves, we count after each out breath. So we breathe in, breathe out 1, breathe in, breathe out 2, breathe in, breathe out 3, and so on up to 10, and then back to 1. We're marking each out breath with a count. If we lose count or we go over, just go back to 1 and start again. we drift away or distracted, just notice where your mind's gone to. That's what the mind does. You can be there for a moment, and then coming back to that awareness of the breath. And counting after each out-breath. We may need to keep doing that, but that's okay. That's the practice. So in the second stage, we drop the counting. We're just aware of that natural in-out flow of the breath. Occasionally broadening our awareness out, be scanning through the body, noticing anywhere we're holding on and anywhere we're letting go. Seeing all the subtle movements in the body on the in-breath and on the out-breath. You may notice the in-breath is energizing and the out-breath relaxing. So we still maintain some of our awareness in the body, the sensations in the body, but more of our focus is on the breath. If we drift away, that's what we'll keep coming back to. Then we come back with a sense of patience and kindness. With just a couple of minutes to go, decide to make the most of that time. To try letting go of any holding in the body, letting go of any distractions or thoughts, even letting go of any effort. Enjoying being aware of natural flow, the in-breath and the out-breath. So in your own time, drawing the practice to a close, and spend a couple of minutes just sitting, reflecting. Do you feel any different now than when you started the practice? And just as a reminder, if you have any questions you want to type in, we'll be, Dark and you'll be looking out for those. We'll be fielding those in a short while. So just as the way you set up for meditation is important, to try and the more you can, effort you can put in and care in setting up a practice, the easier the practice is. But also it's good to be aware of how you come out of it as well, giving yourself that space to absorb and assimilate and sort of bring whatever you've gained then into the rest of your day, the rest of your life even. So yeah, always giving space at the end of a meditation practice. So if there's any questions coming in, I'll just say a few things about there's a coming up Zoom course. So in next week on Wednesday at 7 o'clock, we're going to be running a 4-week Zoom meditation course. It'll be on the mindfulness of breathing, but we did 2 stages tonight, but there are 4 stages in all. So we'll be doing the full practice and we'll be able to go a bit deeper into it and how you can set up a home practice, what will help support it, how you can work in meditation a bit more, and also what I always think is important is making it your own as well. And that's why we're going to do it on Zoom, so that it can be a bit more interactive. That you can, we can maybe we'll have a bigger team and smaller groups, so people can feed back on how they're getting on, and there's a chance for a bit more interactive discussion as well. And if you're interested in that, we would like you to book on it, because we need to prepare for it and have the sense of numbers. We'll sort of limit the numbers, so if you are interested, it'd be good to book on it in the next few days. The way to book is through emailing the centre. It's not through our usual booking system online, but if you can email info@norwichbuddhistcentre.com, just say you want to come on that course, you'll get then an email confirmation. And we'll also be sending out occasional text to do with the course as well. And we're going to run that all free as well. But that sort of brings me on to another point of tonight. We wanted to run free, and we're able to do that because of people's past generosity. So everybody who teaches here and helps support classes, everybody does it voluntarily. So nobody gets paid for that. But we do have overheads. We have this building to keep going. We do employ people for the administration of the centre, and we are fortunate that through generosity from people in the past, we're able to keep going even at this time when all our income, or most of our income, has stopped. We can still run through people's past generosity. To keep going in the future, we will rely on that continuing. So if you're able to make a donation, that would be great. And I think the way of looking at it is, if you've benefited from it tonight, then you can help somebody else benefit in the future by making a donation. So the way to do that will be on our listed on our live stream, our bank details. You can make a one-off donation, or what is great that some people take out a standing order just to make a regular monthly contribution. That way we plan for the future. But a one-off donation would be great as well. But also, I'm very aware that for a lot of people, these are quite hard financial times. So that's why we wanted to run this free. And I'm really pleased you'll be able to come, and we don't expect anything from you if you're in that position as well. So if you're able to make a contribution, and I know some of you have already, so thanks very much. But if you're not, please do keep coming as well. So that's why we're running it in this way. So we'll wind it up tonight with we'll do a little short meditation, the way you can take into your everyday life. And that is the purpose of meditation, is to bring whatever we gain from it, that sense of awareness, perspective that I was talking about earlier on, to allow that continue. And it's particularly good, I think, this time of year. Well, the weather changed a little bit, it's still really nice. It's just going out for walks. And if you do meditate at home, just go outside and you'll just notice everything is just a little bit sharper, because it sort of stills the mind, and everything's just that bit sharper, and you're more aware of nature. So we carry on that mindfulness, and it is great just going out for a walk and being aware of what's around you. It's because it's interesting that if we become more aware of ourselves, we become more aware of other people and everything that's around us as well. You know, if we're plagued by worry and thoughts, we sort of lose contact with ourselves and everything that's around us. So that sort of broadening that awareness out, we're able to sort of carry that out to everything that is around us as well. So that is the purpose of meditation. It's not something that we want to do just in isolation. So I'll just look into Sinadarkani and see if there were any.
Yeah, I think you just remind people that there is somebody who they've got any problems with booking or getting onto Zoom. We have got somebody that'll help them.
Yeah, so that's a good reminder that we have got somebody still working at home doing all the admin at the centre, Amanda. So you can email the centre if you have any questions about meditation, the course, or Zoom, and how you download that and how all that works. If you're not used to Zoom, we'll be sort of leading you through that. It is quite simple, but at least initially a little bit daunting if you've not done it before. But we'll help you through that if you just email the centre. We can help you get set up with all of that, so you're ready. And then next week, if you did come on a Wednesday via the Zoom course, we'll be giving you some guidance on how to make the most of it. Okay, so we'll just finish with a short meditation that you can do anytime. So you don't have to particularly set yourself up, but we can just turn our awareness inward again and just noticing how we are. We're not trying to change anything. You can notice thoughts. Just a sense of how we are, of the body. Noticing the mind is busy or still, focused or distracted, alert or dull. So we're not trying to change anything, but we're just bringing awareness to what's there, to how we are at this moment. And then bringing our focus to the breath. So as in mindfulness of breathing, bring our focus to the natural in-out flow of the breath. And we'll do that for about a minute. And then Again, broadening that awareness out. Any sounds in the room, to sounds outside. Open your eyes and taking some of that awareness with you. We can carry on that awareness that we've built up and carry that through to the rest of our evening. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed and got something from the meditation we've done this evening. Thanks again for coming. It's great that people were able to come along to this live stream meditation. And well, if you're not able to make the Zoom course, we will open one day. I'm sure it will come. I don't know when, but whenever we do open again, I hope to see you come along to the Buddhist Centre. So thanks very much. We'll leave it there for tonight.